Hey, this is Joe from SoFly, and in this video, we are going to export WooCommerce orders to XML using WP All Export. So to get started, we'll go down here to All Export, and we'll select New Export. And then from the pull down, we'll select WooCommerce Orders. And if we wanted to, we could filter our orders. So for example, we could export everything in all orders that were sent to California or orders that were created in April or whatever. But in this case, we're just going to export everything. So we'll hit Customize Export File. And this is the page where we can drag and drop to create our export. Now, by default, we're just going to get a spreadsheet as our export. But we're going to change that to XML. So we go down here to Export Type, Feed, and then we can choose Simple XML or Custom XML. Now, with Simple XML, we just get this, right? So we can drag and drop to rearrange things. We can click to change element names like that. And then the elements are going to be reordered, right? Then if we want to, for example, let's say I want to get my order total in here and my order date. I just drag and drop and we get that information in there, right? And all of our order data is going to be here on the right. Now, let's say that, for example, let's take another look at this. We do have some options here. So we can change these element names, right? Just by clicking on the element and editing it. Now we have some advanced options over here. So the root element, I would call this orders, and this would be order. And now we have orders, order, right? And that's a pretty standard configuration for XML. Then over here, we have our seed data tags. You don't really need to worry about seed data, but basically there's some characters that will break XML files. And what you can do is you can wrap them in these tags called seed data tags, and then the XML will be readable by things that read XML files. You don't really need to worry about it. WPL export will take care of it and just wrap in anything that needs to be wrapped in them. So we're pretty good on that front. Now, let's say we wanted to do something like we wanted to add a parameter, right? Like we needed to have the order ID actually be like inside this element here. In that case, we would use a custom XML feed. And we would just go like this. Orders, order, order. We drag in our order ID. And you can see here, this tag is going to be my order ID. So we can just go ID equals like this. Preview. And there we go. Now, custom XML feeds, you can get super complicated with these. Check our YouTube channel. We have other videos on exporting WooCommerce orders to XML that go a little bit more in depth into custom XML. For us, we're just going to stick with a nice, simple XML feed and go through the rest of our data here on the right. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's set up our file. I don't need the order title, don't need the order key, but we'll keep order ID, order total, order date. Then down here, we have some customer data, like billing first name, billing last name. We have our address information over here. If we wanted to, we could combine all of this billing information into a single field using a custom export field. Again, check our YouTube channel. We have a bunch of videos on custom export fields. In this case, this is okay for me. And then we have a bunch of other data here, right? We have our information about our products, like a product name, and the taxonomies, the attributes, pretty much everything, the size and the color, and then more order information down here. We have a lot of videos that go more in depth into all of this. We're just going to go quickly through all of this, and there you go. So you can see here we have multiple order items. So this person ordered 2 products. So those 2 products are showing up down here. And this looks pretty good to me. So let's go ahead and continue. And we have some scheduling options. So we could set this up, for example, to run every Monday at 12 o'clock. So then every time that you access this XML feed, it's going to be accurate as of Monday. You could set it up to run every day of the week at midnight and have it update. Or you could have it update twice a day, whatever you needed, right? This service, this point and click scheduling service, costs $9 a month. You can set this up manually with cron jobs. However you need to do it. The cron jobs, they're a little bit more complicated, but it's not so bad. You can read our documentation to learn more about that. Or again, we have some videos on this. And then down here, we have some interesting options. For XML feeds, this one might be pretty useful for you, is the export each WooCommerce order in real time as they're completed. If we enable this, every time someone has a WooCommerce order come in, this export runs, but it only exports that one single order. Then you could hook this up to Zapier or a custom script or pretty much anything. And then you'd be able to send that data anywhere, especially with Zapier. You can send an email, you can send it with HTTP post to an API, kind of whatever you need to do, point and click, pretty cool. You can also only export orders once. So every time this export runs, if an order has been included, it will not be included in the new run. And finally, allow non-admins to run this export in client mode. If you enable this, basically non-admins can come in and access WPL export and run the exports you've allowed them to run. But what they can't do is they can't create new exports or edit existing ones, right? So we can pass data through PHP functions with WPL export to do some pretty custom stuff. We don't want to let non-admins doing that. So with client mode, you can let them do it safely. All right, so that's it for the options. We're just going to go ahead, save and run the export. And we'll let this run and we'll come back in a few minutes. All right, so our export is complete. We can download our XML file and check it out. Let me go over here and open it. And here we go. So here's our XML feed. Everything came in okay, so we can see our order items are all separated out. Looks pretty good. You can see this person ordered 2 products. This person ordered 1. Now we can also generate this secure URL. Put that into our browser, and anytime this export is run, it's just going to spit out the most recent version of our XML feed. Pretty useful. Then over here, we have our scheduling options again, external apps. So this explains how to use Zapier, where you can integrate with tons and tons of apps like email, Dropbox, Google Sheets. You can do API requests and things like that. So you can send this exported data over to Zapier and get it wherever you need it to be. Export, edit, import, not super relevant for XML. This is where you would export data, edit it in Excel, and then import it back into WordPress. But yeah, these are going to be the features you're going to use the most. The secure URL and probably Zapier. All right, so that's it. So that's all it takes to export WooCommerce orders to XML using WPL export. Thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.